Welcome to the Whitetail Advantage Podcast with your host, Brett Bovin. Thank you for tuning in and enjoy the show.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Whitetail Advantage Podcast. I'm your host, Brett Bovin. It's Sunday, October 20th, 2024. Have you ever wondered what to yourself as a bow hunter, what type of highs and lows that you could face out in the woods? I mean, you're thinking, all right, I'm just going out there in the hunting woods and I'm going to shoot a deer. It's going to be plain and simple. And that's that easy. Well, it's fucking not. It's extremely stressful. There's a lot of highs where you just feel like you're riding on top of a mountain hill. And there's a lot of lows where it just feels like I could break my brand new $4,000 bow that I just spent on and everything. Well, tonight we're going to get into all that on what's it feeling like on the highs, the lows, right in there in the middle, how to balance it all and make sure that we can navigate through those treacherous waters. So make sure you tune in for that. Anyways, if this is your first time tuning in to the show, we do a live show every Sunday and Tuesday, but because it's a hunting season, we're only doing them on Sundays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're doing a roundtable segment in these couple of months, just talking about whatever we want to talk about. We get guests from wherever and talk to them, but usually we cover 2 days, Sundays and Tuesdays, like I said, and we cover a state, bringing on a guest, talked about their hunting tactics and strategies, and talking about what's it like to hunt in that state as well. If you have any questions or comments or anything like that, feel free to drop them in the comment section, and we'll pop them up during the show, and we'll go with that. Sometimes we have a lot of fun with it, actually. Anyways, if you ever want to be a guest on the show or you want the team to be a guest on your show, feel free to reach out to us on our social media platform, or you can send an email to brettbovin@whitetailadvantage.com. Now, we also have a saying on the show, make sure to put your cord in the slot machine, because I strongly believe hunting is a dying sport. It's a dying lifestyle. So all we ask out there is for you to help us give one new friend, one new subscriber. That's all we ask, because we're doing the best we can to try and get hunting to what it used to be. I mean, it's changing, obviously, but it's that camaraderie of friends and family that's really a remarkable feeling, and that's what hunting is really all about. Anyways, as you can see, if you're watching the live show or watching this on YouTube, we're doing a little new thing here for tonight's show, because I don't like intros, and sometimes I forget what to say sometimes, even though I fucking write it down, but that's besides the point. So in tonight's show, we have a subscriber goal. Help us get to 210 subscribers. That's what we're looking for right now. We're like 207 or something like that. So help us get to 210. Greatly appreciate it. On tonight's show, we have the Squatch and David. I have John up there, but Johnny was unfortunate. He's not going to be able to make it for tonight's show. So anyways, Johnny, we'll miss you. Anyways, we also partnered up with Rec Broadheads, thanks to the Squatch and Johnny. And actually, I bought their broadheads now, and they're actually in my quiver, along with my other Magnus broadheads. So if you use the code WA15 at the checkout on recbroadheads.com, you can get a discount off your products there. Also, with Gilly Puck, we're also teamed up with them as well. Make sure to use the code GP10. Also, check out us on Carbon TV. Give us a positive rating there. It'd be greatly appreciated. Go to our website as well, because we're doing a lot of updating on that with our guests. We have our schedule all lined up for all next year of the states that we're going to be covering and what we're going to be doing on our live shows. So if you're from a state, let's say you're from Tennessee, and it's like, ooh, I'd love to come on a show, and I can fit one of those days in, send us an email and we'll get you booked in on that show, and we'll update our website right there for you. Also, we just started Patreon this afternoon. So it's brand new. It's in its baby infancy stage. So bear with us. But with our Patreon, we're going to be doing some cool new things. We're going to get a lot behind the scenes, talk to us and a lot of cool things we're going to be doing with Patreon. So we just started, so make sure to check us out on Patreon as well. And we're looking forward to getting that going here in a little bit. Anyways, we all know I don't like boring intros because I hate them. Enough me chagging. Let's bring in our guests for tonight. They're not even guests, they're the brothers on the team here, and look forward to talking with them. So let's bring them in here for tonight. What's up, fellas?
What's up?
What's going on?
Man, I just gotta say, well, first off, we have a comment here from Dustin. Dustin, man, that's
What's up, Dustin?
dude right
Hey,
there. That's an awesome dude. We're gonna get you on the show here, Dustin, on our roundtable segment here before the end of December.
Yes.
So, I love chatting with him from there, so I'm looking forward to that as well. How are you guys doing? Because we've been texting a lot. We've had a lot of fun going with
Some
this.
of us have been texting.
Yeah, I've been busy, so eat a dick.
Me and Squat's been catching up while somebody's been MIA.
wait a minute. We always think of Brett and say, "Where is Brett? Oh, he might be at the Pancake House or he's golfing." We always bring him into the.
That's
into the
true.
text.
He is
We
always
always
added
think
into
about
the
him.
conversations.
We don't ever forget our fearless leader.
Oh no, I'm a scary little bitch. Anyways, let's talk about, so like I mentioned earlier in the intro there, because we all know I love doing the intro. First
Oh,
off,
favorite.
do we love this? Because I ordered this last week, but I never put it on. Because I got the black one right here and I got the orange to represent Whitetail Advantage. So what do you think? Is it too much? Whatever. If you're listening to the audio podcast, I got a nice orange little wind buffer for my microphone. What
I
are your
think it's-
thoughts?
I think it's cute.
He's
Yeah.
cute.
I like it.
It looks like a
I mean,
a bumblebee's.
it stands out. It's not just, you know what I mean? It's got gives a little bling pizzazz to the
It's like-
mic.
It's like Dave, right? You agree with me? It's kind of like Brett when he's sitting there. He's going, "Hey," you know, like he's got, you know, "Hey, look at my mic."
Yeah.
How dirty.
No, it's cool. I like it. It's good.
Yeah.
All right. Dustin here. Orange. It helps us not focus on that mug as much.
Oh, ouch! Damn.
Right. He's no longer invited on the show anymore. You're banned.
Yeah, he's been banned.
We kid here at the show. Anyways, like I mentioned, highs and lows of hunting. Let's start off the bat right there. Me personally, this year's been, I'm just gonna say it's been a bitch because I shot at a doe earlier in the year. I missed. It went right below her stomach. So that was a downfall, which I kind of got over that one quickly, but it was last Monday. I had an amazing 8-pointer come in, and I was facing west. He was coming from the east, and next thing I know, I see antlers moving, and I'm like, fuck, he's right there. Then long story short, I wasn't able to get a shot off. The whole situation, I was just like, man, this sucks, man. I can't believe it, because I just couldn't get a shot off, but I was doing everything I could. And I was pissed, man. I swear. I was about to take my brand new bow and I almost threw it on the ground. I'm like, fuck hunting. I quit. I'm done with this shit. I'm going to pick up golfing more year round. It's just, it got to me though, for like days on end, for like 3 to 5 days, where I just was like eating at myself. Like, what could I have done better? And this and that. And it was just like, I got really, I want to say depressed, but I was like down on myself. I'm like, man, fuck this.
Oh, you get depressed. It's the one sport that you will hate and you will spend thousands of dollars and say you'll never do it again. And then next year you're spending $1,000 more and you're doing it again. It's addicting. I mean, I am in the situation here where the EHD is hit so bad that like the deer numbers are like 0 almost now. You know.
And that, on top of EHD, I mean, that's like this year here in Michigan. I know Squatch doesn't have much of it out there in New York. It doesn't sound like, but here in Michigan, it's like,
keep seeing pictures of those nice bucks.
yeah, and it's like I'm really just looking at this year like, is this year really even going to be worth it? And when I hear more about the EHD going into the season, it's like, do I even want to shoot a deer? Because I'm going to be scared. Like, is the meat going to be good? Is it going to be tainted? Is it worth it?
Well, from what I hear, the meat doesn't affect humans.
Well, no, I'm not saying that.
The
I'm just
disease
saying
part.
that-
But yeah, is it going to be
yeah,
pretty much like, is the deer dying?
yeah. That's
Yeah.
I'm not
And it's going to taste like crap.
right. That's
But no, I was actually really looking forward to this year. I've been this pumped, and probably it's been a few years just with the amount of big bucks I've had on trail cam all spring up until August, September, and then they broke up from their groups, and then they were more sporadic. You would catch them off and on. But as soon as the hot weather kept coming, and then I knew Allegan and Barry got hit really hard. So my buddies are telling me they're dropping like flies. They're finding 20, 30 of them at a time in the swamps by water. And then I never put two and two together until probably a week and a half ago. And I'm just like, man, they're not even coming at night really anymore, which is super rare that I'm not seeing them come through at night at all. And then that Big 10 that I told you guys seen at that one spot where they clear cut that corn, I ran into the farmer who farms that for them. And he actually found that 10 point on the Rogue River behind his house.
wow.
Like 3 days ago was in the river. And I was like, shit, that was the only buck I seen in that spot that was even worth shooting. I mean, like I had that 4 point come right up behind me, but other than that, I've seen one doe, and then across the street I had that OK7, but he was being chased by a coyote, but he wouldn't even stop. I tried. I almost jumped out of the tree to try to tackle his ass, but he wasn't having none of it. And then 7 does that ran out in front of me at like 40 yards, they ran across the road, so I never even really saw them. But that was probably been my highlight of the year as far as seeing deer.
Yeah.
Since opening week, I guess you would say. It just started tailing off. And now I'm
I
here
will-
by Cedar Springs now up north of me.
I will say though that this last week it was Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I had this weird little 4-pointer buck come in every day around 6:45. He'd come right underneath my stand, eat some little leaves and shit like that, and would just look up at me and like, hey, as he's chewing, and then go back down and he'd sniff around. I'm just like, I nicknamed him "What's up, stupid?" It's just whatever. And
What's up, stupid?
he comes there. He's been coming there the last 3 days, and I'm just like, "Yep, how's it going?" And then he just trampled it off, and so that was fun. It kind of picked my spirits up.
It's
after-
nice to see deer.
Yeah,
It does bring your spirits up when you know and you're like, oh, there's the deer. There it is. And which is weird is normally we called them dumbass. He was just a little yearling spike, but he would bounce between me and my neighbor's kid every day, 2 or 3 times a day. All right, he's coming to you now, Teague. Oh, he's coming back to you, Dave. And he would just walk under and he'd look around and then he'd walk back. But we haven't seen him in a week and a half. So I think he's dead too. Or oh, Jesus.
it's holy shit.
Yeah. Is that one you sent me earlier, Squatch?
Yeah, look at the time.
Yeah.
5:04.
Oh, yeah.
5:04 on a 73-degree day, and he daylights. And I was in that frickin' stand this morning, and
Shit.
Oh my gosh.
and he's got the balls to show up there at 5:00 in daylight, right? Now, this buck here is new to the property. I've had my cameras out all summer, and this guy just shows up out of freaking nowhere. And that's, Dave and I were telling you the last couple of times or whatever, maybe we mentioned it. We hunt doe areas, okay? So where I live, it's a 58-acre parcel that's just thick, old, overgrown, old apple orchards. I mow lanes all through there. Mostly it used to be for rabbit hunting, but I always deer hunted in there also. And these doe bed in there, and there's all orchards, good orchards around, but they're starting to fence those all off. A lot of them are all fenced off now. So these doe predominantly hang here. Now, just up about maybe a mile as the crow flies, we call Marlboro Mountain. It's not like a huge mountain, but it's just a nice big ridge that pops up between here and the next town over. I've said it for years. the thermals carry the doe's scent. When they're in heat, when they start to come into their estrus cycle, those bucks are cruising that ridge in the morning, and they can smell all the way down here. Nobody can tell me any different. They smell that hot doe, and they come down, and I start seeing deer like, who the hell are you? I don't know who you are. But some poor bastard about a mile or a mile and a half away saying, hey, where did my buck go I had here all year? He's over here, dude. He's day walking by me. Okay. And good friend of mine, I'm not taking credit for any of this because I'm not that kind of guy. You guys all know Carolina Reaper, Whitetail 101. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Good friend of mine. Good friend of mine. Very knowledgeable. Him and I talk a lot. And today, when this happened, I texted him. I said, what the frig, man? I'm here working at my house because it's hot out. And this bastard shows up like he belongs there. And he's like right in front of my camera, staring in my camera like, hey, I'm here. I looked at my wife. I said, do you believe this shit? I says, I'm done. I said, I'm joining Bovin. They're going to call me Squatch Woods, and I'm getting the fucking windmill and wood butter, and I'm hitting balls, man. I'm done. I'm frustrated. I'm done. But anyway, I'll never give up. I sound, like I get frustrated and everything, but I'll never give up. But it's just how weird, and then you hear guys, like how many pros have you heard say, oh, don't sit the same stand twice, God, because you make a scent cone there, and you don't ever do that. If you hunt it in the morning, get the frig out of there and go, look at this freaking deer. I had people that own the property's daughter walking around the property with a dog in that same, I got a trail cam picture of him in the same spot at 11:55. And that buck could give two shits less who was there. So I'm not saying it's the same everywhere, but I have orchards around me. There's pickers out there all the time. I say it time and time again. I really don't think they care about human scent here. They're so used to being around it.
Yeah.
The smells, they become accustomed to the noises. I mean,
Yep.
I had guys the next orchard over blasting ducks this morning, and I had two doe walk right by me, and they didn't even flinch with the shots. I was like, I said, boy, that's weird. I started getting aggravated. I'm like, it's going to blow my morning here. But no, I had stuff there. I had a new buck come in this morning. He's got, I can show you. He's got like just a,
yeah. I think a lot of that, what they're talking about too, is when the bucks are getting busted because of their scent. Yeah. They're not mentioning that they're hunting private, 200 acres, that they're the only ones that are around it.
Yep.
And the deer don't get a lot of human activity by them.
Yeah. And what you guys are going through with EHD, I had at 2020 here. So the other parcel
there.
Yeah. The other parcel that I hunt where I grew up, that is now on the rebound from EHD. So I'm getting the 4.5-year-old bucks that are maturing from that dilemma. So they're on the mend. Like the last 2 years there were kind of like hit and miss. But now I'm seeing, I've been showing you pictures, I've been.
Oh yeah, I know. I've been seeing them.
I'll say that's like, the other property.
Backing up and I'm hitchhiking. I'm gonna be on your
come
door.
out. I told you guys to come out.
I know.
That's the buck. Now he's in the same spot as that. Yeah. But I mean, here's a mature deer. He was there at 5:00 this morning. And I'm like, where the hell are you from? He's another buck in there now. So
that just proves my point. That's why I hunt doe bedding and not buck bedding.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh no.
Bedding, you'll chase your tail most of the time. Yeah. Doe bedding, they're all going to come to you as long as the does are there.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, if for that buck to be that time of the day at 5:00 and people have been walking around in there, I mean, who the hell knows? The girls probably got perfume on. They had their dog with them. I'm like, I'm just starting to like really getting on these guys. And it's like, now you're going to come walking around and, what do you say? You're not the owner of the property. You're just you're leasing the land. These guys come up and they're like, hey, my daughter wants to walk around. Okay, fine, man. It's your property. I can't say anything to the guy. I mean, at least he texted me and said, hey, we're coming in. It was like 10:30 anyway. So whatever. It's fine, But like I said, the EHD, you're going to have a low right now. You're seeing deer drop. You're seeing, it's just Frankensteinville out there. They're all zombies just laying there dead and stuff.
Yeah.
This year's going to suck for you. But watch 4.5 years from now, as long as things go right, you're going to have monsters, man. I mean, it's that place where I grew up was always good, heavy, big rack bucks. And when they all died off, I was like, I'm done over there. I'm not hunting here. I'll hunt here by my place.
Yeah.
So,
That's
but this year I've seen a ton of deer. This is probably the best year. The Moultrie camera's been working hard. They're really pulling overtime for me. Great products too, and I rely on them. And I was so proud, because I'm seeing these deer. I'm starting to figure them out. So having cameras out there definitely helps, but it'll frustrate the shit out of you. And Brett and I, we were saying that like 2 shows or 3 shows ago. I don't even want to look at the cameras. I'm ready to go out and just take them out of the damn tree.
That's what I did. I took mine out.
Yeah.
I just took them out. You'll end up chasing your tail the whole time.
We have a comment here from Dustin. Been there many times. I've quit bow hunting at least 50 times a year.
Hell yeah.
And then
there's Jason. What's up, Jason?
There's Jason. Killing grilling.
Dustin again. Y'all are doing better than me. I haven't had a single set of horns on cam yet.
Wow.
It takes time, man. Sometimes like I've gotten bucks on like 2 cameras. The other ones I'm not seeing shoot on. So it's like it comes and goes. It's like waves, really.
Yep. And the time of the year, like your cams that you're not getting nothing on, as soon as the rut hits, you might all of a sudden start. That's where they're hitting.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
Yep. Malachi Barksdale. If I said that wrong, I'm sorry. What's up, fellas?
What's up, man?
Hope you're having a good day, man.
What's going on, man?
Here shortly, we're going to be doing a call-in line. So if anyone out there is watching, they want to call in, we'll get that up here in a little bit. Anyways, no, it's frustrating when you have all these moments where it's like you leading in, like last season, I was seeing like 10 bucks. I was like, "Ooh, that's shooter buck." I'm like, I've never seen this many shooter bucks on camera going into the season in the 17, 18 years I've been hunting out there. This was last year. And I was like, fuck, it's gonna be a great year. I got a buck, but I never saw those other ones. I see other people shoot them. They shot 2 out of the 10 that we were kind of after. The other ones, they just vanished. This year, we're hardly ever seeing anything. Granted, we have EHD, but we only saw like 2, 3 good bucks that were like mature. Like, all right, we can take that one, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You just have all these waves in hunting. Like I said, you have a lot of high moments, a lot of low moments, and those moments right in between where it's like, what do you do? And those moments where those low moments, let me say this, those high moments, you appreciate the low moments, because when you're high on those high mountains where it's like you shot that deer and you appreciate that more because you know what the downfall is like. It's like shooting the deer and never finding it. Because I've shot plenty of deer where I shot them and I just couldn't find them. And I'm just like, fuck this, man. First off, you feel terrible on yourself because you thought you did a great shot on a deer. I shot 2 bucks and 2 does. I thought I put the hammer on them. We tracked them for miles, never found them. So those ones sit with me the most because I can remember them, because because I never was able to officially kill them. They could be dead. They could have been dead. But it's those low moments where it's like, I have to learn from this. I think everyone should allow themselves 3 to 5 days of grace period where it's like, I'll let this eat at me, but I got to learn from something out of this 5th day. It's like, all right, what the fuck did I do wrong? How can I do better? Where can I get a better advantage? Do I need to move my stand? Thinking everything that you could have done that went wrong, quote unquote, went wrong, and how you can do better from that. So learn from those 3 to 5 days, let yourself suck in that period, then move forward with it. Cause that's all you can do. There's no point of, it's out of your control now.
Yeah. And that's a lot of it too. I mean, a lot of it, like what's happened to Squatch. There's nothing that he could have controlled on that outcome. It just happened.
I've
You know, there's a million different scenarios. If I'd have done this, if I'd have done that. He took his time. He made sure that his shot was good. It was in ethical angle, I guess you would say. And shit just happened.
Yep.
It's happened to me.
Yep.
10 yards. A
Yep.
doe. Quite a few does, actually, when I was younger.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you're just take your
like I
time,
said,
put it on, good shot, and for whatever reason, something happened. And you just can't control it. It's going to happen, and it's going to continue to happen. It's going to happen probably 10 more times in your lifetime. And it's
that's
just
the
something
thing
as
with
we as
bow hunting.
hunters, we got to learn to. There's no way to get the guilt out of your mind, I guess you would say, but to just kind of chalk it up is I did everything I could, and going back's not going to fix anything. Because in my mind, in that moment, I did everything I thought was right, and it still didn't happen. And it's going to happen again. Happens with everybody.
Right. And I
You
think
know.
with bow hunting in particular, and we can, I'm not going to get into crossbow hunting and gun hunting on this part of this, what I'm going to say, but bow hunting itself is extremely tough. It's extremely tough.
Yeah.
And you have to, it's not like a gun where you can just, all right, 2 days before the season starts, all right, it's all sighted and I'm good to go. There's so many fucking things that can go wrong.
Oh, yeah.
You think you put the knock correctly in the string, drawing back,
Excuse me.
it falls off. You rest as you're drawing back, depending on the type of rest you have. You accidentally, as you're drawing back, you hit your button release or the index one. You accidentally, when you get back, you accidentally do it at that point. There's so many variables that can go wrong in archery, and that's why I love that part of it even more outside of general archery hunting stuff. But people, in my opinion, they aren't spending the time enough in the off season to prepare themselves when it comes to the actual season that starts off. And what I mean by that is you have to spend each day, or at least on like every Sunday for me, I set aside at least an hour for archery practice each day, because Monday through Saturday, I'm busier than shit. I set aside an hour each Sunday, at least at a minimum, practicing different scenarios, practicing, all right, this day I'm just going to practice on form. All right, yardage distances, this scenario, and I'm game planning what I'm going to do coming up on that Sunday. I'm doing that as soon as the season's over, leading into the season. And when I'm doing in March to generally about August, I'm shooting at just a regular circle type target. Then once September comes around, I got my 3D target up, so I get my eye picture sighted in with actually looking at a whitetail deer. Then I start doing more of that. So that way my eye gets used to what's like to actually looking at a deer, basically. And I think
it's different from shooting at vital areas on a 3D target than shooting at a square and not following the actual kill zone on a 3D target, which my kid had to learn that. Yeah. Don't shoot him in the 12. He said, that's the guts, dude. You know?
Yeah.
You scored 12 points, but that deer, you just stank all on that arrow, and he's probably going to die about a week later.
You know, the Glendale buck that I got, I set it up with the head facing. So if you're looking at the deer, I had the head facing to the right. So I'm shooting it, and I'm just shooting at the freaking kill zone above the front leg a little bit. And every time I walk down there, this thing's got the heart backwards. The lungs are this way, and the heart's back over here. I said, what the hell did they do when they designed this thing? So I'm getting ready to go on Instagram and say, hey, guys, anybody else got a Glendale buck that got misprinted out there? Now, you can take that block and screw it around. They have it for high angle. They got it for level, but it's still, the vitals are backwards. So hold on a second, right? I said, let me think about something here. I pulled the buck out of the ground. I turned the head to the left. The vitals are the right way. So, just so you know, a Glendale 3D target is only meant to shoot
one way
with his head facing to the left. I didn't know that, and I'm like, boy, that would screw somebody up big time if they didn't know.
Didn't know that, and that's the stupidest thing I ever heard.
Yeah. But it's the God's honest truth. Take a Glendale buck, set it down in the ground with the head facing right, the vitals will be backwards. If you take the whole target, turn it around, head facing left, they're perfectly right.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. So if you pull, because that has the insert you can replace,
But the insert is
and if you
constantly
swap
wrong.
it, it'll be wrong on the other side.
It's wrong. It's wrong. If it's faced, the head is facing to the
Yeah.
right. No matter how much you turn that block, they're always backwards. If you turn the deer around to the heads to the left, then they're absolutely right. And it has two wooden pegs that hold the top cover in to hold the center section down. Well, when the buck's facing to the right, you don't see the two pegs, because they're at the back of the deer. And I was like, oh, now it makes sense. So I was a student. I didn't know. But
That is weird.
whatever.
I feel like that's mind-shattering information right there. I'm like, mind blown.
You know what I found? Now that you brought that up, the cheap shooter buck, the big shooter buck from that I got at Dunham's.
Yeah.
They actually changed the vitals on those.
Okay.
They're actually closer. The heart's a lot smaller,
Yep.
but the actual lungs and the heart is really close to exactly where it is. It's still a little back.
Yeah.
But it's a lot better than they used to, like the Deltas. You know, you're like shooting 3D.
Nah,
I mean, you're almost shooting them in the ass at a 14, you know, and then everybody's like, put the hammer on them.
Yeah, no, you're hitting liver. You're doing liver and backside of the guts. But, you know, and when I had the 3D archery course, we had 40 outdoor targets. So we had every freaking walk of life target you could imagine out there. And it was one of the things. I'm like, why do they have a 10 ring where the deer's liver is? It just doesn't make any sense. And how many freaking stupid asses go out there and wow, like you said, yeah, man, I whaled him. No, the hell you didn't. He's in the next county by now because you hit him in the liver.
Yeah, with an arrow stuck in his ass.
Yeah, he's like, oh man, what the hell? So, but you know,
I never understood that personally myself.
We were
and even a lot of the manufacturers before they started making them for like IBO and ASA, where they wanted it. I know why they moved them back, so there was more of a flatter surface.
Yeah.
To shoot the 10s, 12s, and if it's ASA 14 rings.
Right, right.
But 90% of the people out there, I ain't buying them to shoot competition. They're for hunting scenarios. I mean, those guys, I don't shoot that no more. I don't give a shit. I want something that's close. And especially for my kid.
Yeah.
You know, when he's trying to learn deer anatomy and he's shooting that and he's like, yeah, I hit it right in that 12 ring. And I'm like, no, man, don't hit it there, dude. You just
my buddy
get out of that thing.
He just showed me it's what's it called? Deer. Hold on, bear with me. I just put it on my phone. Oh, on Deercast. Have you used Deercast at all? So on Deercast, you can actually, like, for somebody who doesn't know, but you can actually turn the deer and everything. It'll show the vitals. It'll show a high angle shot, low angle shot.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty cool. It's just a quick reference guide. Like if you got any question, you know, if you have something like you weren't sure maybe where the arrow might have hit or if it was forward or if it was back, but it's something to use as a reference point for, you know, somebody out there that hasn't.
No, you've seen the Quiv Air buck, haven't you?
Yeah.
I've seen that. That looks pretty.
That thing's expensive.
So that's what I ordered my kid for Christmas.
Oh, okay, cool.
$3,000.
No.
13.
No, the Delta ones are like $350, $400 for
what?
the buck. Yeah, they ain't that.
No, the one
the one that uses the cell phone, you can scan it with your cell phone.
Yeah,
it's that Quiver one.
No, that thing's like
there's
1,100.
two different companies that sell it.
Yeah, the Delta one was like $1,300. The guy told me.
That's the full size. That's for like that giant one. If you scroll down,
yeah,
they're like $350, $400.
No shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna get.
But anyway, I thought that's really cool for them to be learning.
Yeah, that's good.
Out of a tree stand, and that's the only thing he's getting probably for the next 5 years.
Nice.
We'll get. That's a cool thing here. I have a question where we're gonna get into the hunting apps. We'll talk about those here in a second.
Okay.
But I have a question for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's off hunting topic related. But what is? Let's just lead into this.
Debate corner.
What's your favorite? Because I know it's already going to turn into a debate. What is your favorite seafood? I'll say mine last.
Favorite seafood?
I like all of it, to be honest. I don't know if I specifically have a super favorite. I love everything out of the water, and I've probably had just about everything out of the water.
I'll say how about this? I'll say mine
Crab
first.
or lobster is probably my top. Is if you're going shelled, I would
Crab and
probably say
lobster.
walleye is probably my favorite fish to eat.
Mhm.
Okay. Squatch.
You know, I had the pleasure of going on a trip. I was down in Key West, and it was awesome, man. But it was I was like 21, 22 years old, and we caught mahi-mahi.
Just gonna say,
And let me tell you something, man. When you take them out of the water and you bring that stuff home and you cook it up, there's nothing better. So I'd have to say probably that was one of my favorites, but I like calamari. You know, I like the fried calamari.
man, calamari is so good.
I like linguine and clam sauce. I like a zuppa de pesce. You know, anything that's got seafood in it, I'm a
Seafood portofino is my favorite pasta.
man. I love it. But my favorite, like seafood fish, like if it was a fish out of the ocean, that fresh mahi-mahi. Oh God, that was like just a dive for.
Those are probably the prettiest fish, and I think.
And the sick thing about them is, as soon as you pull them out of the water, they fade instantly. But when you catch them, they're yellow, pink, blue. They got some like gray to the lower part of them. You got to get them so quick in front of the camera and get a picture before you put them in the cooler, because like 3 seconds later, they're fading right out. The color runs right out of them.
Wow.
It's really neat, though, but they are an awesome eating fish.
I've had mahi-mahi, but I've never had fresh mahi-mahi.
So
mine would be duck.
Duck is good.
It's seafood, damn it. I don't care what you think. It's seafood.
Oh boy. There we go.
Wait, are you telling me you don't think duck is seafood?
No, I think duck are just annoying things that.
If maybe you're Asian.
Oh, the gooey duck. That's the one he likes.
Mallards.
That's the one that looks like the.
Looks like Loch Ness, Nessie.
It's
the gooey duck.
You son of bitches. They spend majority of their time in water and doing aqua shit. They have webbed toes. So you're telling me that
no,
whatever. It's seafood.
I think you got to call the bearded ones on that one and ask them.
It's fucking seafood. I don't care. Seafood.
I don't know if I've seen duck on a seafood menu before, but I guess I haven't been to them all.
All right. So how do you like your duck?
I don't know. Cooked? I don't fucking know.
Well, they got apricot duck. They got glazed duck. They got dead duck. You know, I mean, they got all kinds of ducks.
Garlic butter duck, deep fried.
Every duck I ever ate tastes fishy, and they taste like a greasy fish, you know?
Yeah, good geese are that way too. They're really fatty. But I like geese too, though.
But you wrap them in bacon, they're really good.
Oh, yeah.
Anything
in bacon is good.
Yeah, you can pretty much wrap a turd in bacon, probably be all right.
All right, I'm not going that fucking far.
Nah, what a turd's always a turd. I don't care what you do.
Now you're trying to backpedal on us.
Turd's always a turd.
I was trying to lead you into something, but you got scared and ran away.
He's got scared and ran away.
I got to go extra tough because Johnny's not here.
Man. Don't do it.
All right, here we go.
Listener call-in.
All right. If anyone out there is watching and you want to call into the show and talk to us, you can be whatever you want to talk about. Whatever you want to talk about, topic, whatever the concern may be, whatever we've talked about so far, feel free to call into it.
Cars. Okay.
We can talk about trees for all I give a shit. Tattoos. I don't give a fuck. If you want to call into the show and talk with us, call us. Phone numbers.
Brett will show you his tramp stamp.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys can talk about what kind of golf balls you should shoot, you know.
Yeah.
What one kind of goes through the air better because it's got more dimples on it.
Cuts the breeze.
Yeah. You know, how you should pitch your wedge angle when you're going to take that shot. Don't twist your hand.
Well, when I'm around the green, I generally pick up my pitching wedge or my 60-degree wedge, and I pick it up a little bit.
You lost me already.
And then I lean forward.
That's all I hear.
Then that way I can control the spin a little bit better, or I can But yeah, just basically control the spin a lot better is what I'm saying.
Cool.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And then when I'm around, if I'm like in really thick rough, I'll take my 60 and I'll flop it just to get it some little more height on it, and then I can really control the spin on that and get it to die right where I want it to. I like the 56-degree club because I can spin it more. The 60, I can get it to just hit and die right where I want it. So I love doing stuff around the green.
These are bullets. Look, bullets.
Guns and rifles and all this shit. And I'm just sitting here going, I'm going to take a nap.
Bullets.
No one else to talk to about golf shit. Okay, damn it.
Bullets.
I don't have
That's
a
the
golf
only
ball.
thing I know how to send. I don't know how to send a golf ball.
I don't have a golf ball.
You know why? You know what's funny though? Because I picked the hell out of you, but I got an uncle that could have went pro. Actually, two uncles that could have went pro. I had a cousin that was college pro, and both my grandfathers loved to play. I went out once or twice. My dad's father, my grandpa that I show you a lot of pictures of that we hunted together, he used to say, "Ad, come on, hit the ball, hit the ball." So I go out on the front lawn and knock it like 250, 300 yards. He's like, "Why don't you play?" I said, "Because I don't want to do that, you know." And he's like, "Why?" I said, "It ain't me, man." And my brother got into it a little bit, and he's like, "Come on, let's go to one of the local courses." So I got out there, and I'm the only freaking schmuck out there with jeans and work boots on and a freaking tank top. And, you know, these guys are looking at me. I'm like, I don't give a shit. I'm here. I'm going to try it. So really, seriously, man, drive it straight. I can drive it pretty damn far, pretty good. But then they got to have this other part of the game where you got to have a short game, I guess they call it.
Yeah,
I got so frustrated. I just grabbed the ball, picked it up, and threw it down in the fucking hole. I said, "I'm done. This putter shit is for the birds. I don't know what the hell to do with it." And my brother just started laughing, and he's like, "Yeah, man, it's probably not for you." I said, "Nah, I got to stay out in the woods. You know, it's not good to bring me around people. I guess like fancy stuff like
That's
that."
me. My dad did it until he kind of couldn't really walk much. They actually, when he retired, him and his brother, my uncle, they bought a place down in Texas on a golf or right either by one or right on a golf course, so they could just basically walk and golf all day.
Mhm.
And I'm just thinking, that's the stupidest fucking thing I ever heard of. You spend all that fucking money on a place on a golf course, and you're in fucking Texas, and there's giant bucks running around all over the place. And I'm like, why don't you take one of those golf courses or golf clubs, do your kid a favor, smack one of them fuckers on the head, and bring it back to me.
Now you're talking.
You know, but he loved it. I mean, for him it was, and my brother. Yeah. Anyway, they got into it too. But he just did it because it was more or less something relaxing he could do, and it was exercise that he was supposed to be doing, and he loved it until the point where he couldn't walk. Really, pretty much, he can't walk very far. So,
Yeah.
But I get it. I mean,
it's
you know, everybody has their own thing. You know, I mean, if you like golf, and I mean, we got this huge fancy country club right across from our house, and I see idiots all day, you know, they got their fucking golf clubs got diamonds. You can see it just bling and gold plated fucking tires on their carts. And they get these young girls to drive beer out to them all the time. And
yeah,
I'm thinking,
you know who I do like is, I think his name's John Daly. Is that his name? He's got
that's the Happy Gilmore of the PGA Tour.
That dude, I'll tell you what, man. He's just in his own happy place, and I dig that. That's cool.
He's that type of guy. I've watched a lot of his videos. He's that type of guy where it's like Tiger Woods. He would get out there hours before his tee time off, and he'd practice and practice and practice. John Daly would get there 10 minutes before, crack a beer, and smoke a cigar. And all right, where's the first hole and what's the course record? John Daly, and he gets out there, and
John Daly was at the clubhouse drinking 3 hours before it started.
Oh yeah,
he was ready to roll.
Yeah,
it's a badass man when it comes to golfing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, his kid's really good too.
Oh yeah, son goes to Arkansas,
His
and
kid,
how I know that?
he's got a kid.
Yeah, he's got a kid. He plays for Arkansas's golf team, and he's actually really good. Yeah. Hunting apps, technology, basically.
Mhm.
Do we get into them too much? Do we rely on technology? Well, let's leave the technology part of it. Hunting apps themselves. I use Spartan Forge, and I've kind of been dabbling back between Onyx because I used to use Onyx, and I've been using Spartan Forge a lot more lately.
Mm-hmm.
But Onyx is still really more reliable. I love the information I get in Spartan Forge.
Mm-hmm.
First off, real quick, Squatch, do you use one? If so, what is it?
I use Onyx.
Onyx, David?
I use Hunt Stand.
Do you think that we might be relying too much on our hunting apps?
Yep.
Or is it a nice thing to be using?
Hunting apps are a very good tool, but you can overuse them just like a trail cam.
I call the prediction side of it witchcraft, but
yeah,
I love the fact that it has track log. So if you're trailing a deer or you go into a new spot in the dark, you can walk your way back out. Always bring a compass anyway. We all know that. That's for, beginners.
Old school.
But I've been using Onyx now probably since it came out and I first heard about it. So quite a while. And I hunt a good sized piece of land that's state land. And just for the simple fact of just looking at, the heads of where the benches come across, there's places to set up, scout out. But I'll tell you one thing. I had this spot picked out. I said, I'm going to go 3 benches up where these saddles meet. And I'm going to come off the main trail and go straight up. Yeah, well, it don't tell you there's like freaking 6 miles of mountain laurel in there that you could get tripped up in the freaking dark and try to lose yourself in. I never thought I was coming out of that shit. And it was like 4:00 in the morning. I'm bushwhacking through this shit. I was all sweated up by the time I got up to the top of the mountain where I wanted to go. Daylight came, and I was like, if I went about 85 yards over there, I would have had a clean walk. But, sometimes you can't help that stuff. But
it's a very helpful tool. I
helpful.
do admit I use the shit out of it, especially e-scouting.
Yep.
It's awesome. Like Spartan Forge, I used to use Hunt Stand and Spartan Forge same at the time because their maps are so clear. They're just really detailed. That's why I went with them. And then I just ended up spending basically double the money for one app, and I went just because Hunt Stand is also partnered with Stealth Cam, so it links right to my Hunt Stand app, and I can actually, if somebody steals it, I use G coordinates right where it's at.
Yeah,
and I like the maps, Spartan Forge, and very, very detailed. I went back to Hunt Stand because now they do a monthly satellite. So I can actually see what it is now compared to what it was in the spring because I was in a couple places and it was basically an open field and I didn't check it and I went out and I go, holy shit, there's like 80 acres of corn. I didn't even check that. So I went on and looked and I go, oh shit, it is corn. So you can actually tell before and you're like, well, I ain't put my stand there,
Yeah,
but they're very helpful.
They are very helpful. I mean, you can get a lot of information, especially like the topo part of it all.
Elevation and water.
I do think that we rely on it too much, but I like it because I can see where, like, all right, I got my trail camera here, I got my stand here. I do a lot of e-scouting on that part as well. But yeah, are we using it too much? Are we just like banking all our time on these hunting apps? Where it's like,
this is our version of kids and cell phones and video games.
Yeah.
In my opinion. In my opinion is what it is. It's an adult digital tool.
Like I could spend hours just looking at that.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, my wife gets at me all the time. She's like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, I was looking at this property over here and checking the topo and all this crap. And she's like, we're supposed to be spending time together. And I'm like, you're right. Damn it. I have to put it down.
So how about this? So it's sort of similar, but a little bit different. About 8, maybe 10 years ago, there was a moon guide and it was a wheel, and you sent away, you bought the wheel. And when I say a wheel, it had all the dates on it. and it had a slot, and then it had A, B, or C was the best spots to hunt for those days in that moon. And I will tell you something. I thought it was horseshit. I thought it was total horseshit. I said, I'll try it. That damn thing was pretty accurate as far as predicting where movement would be. And I did learn a lot. I bought the book also, and I paid some mind to it, but sometimes I didn't. But I will tell you this, because every year you like Dave was saying before, you spend $1,000 on this or you spend money on that. Every year you say you're going to quit. I revert back sometimes to things that I tried and I think they didn't work that year. Well, maybe that's because it wasn't aligning with what was going on. But this year, I will tell you one thing.
Mm-hmm.
We got the cold snap in the middle of October here, and the full moon was rising right at sunset. And this piece of property here came on fire. I mean, bucks. And I'm like, holy God, I got to take tomorrow off, And it's like, I'm running a lot more cameras than I used to, and they're all cellular. I don't have any SD card cameras anymore, and I'm like, holy crap! I remember reading about this shit, and now I'm actually seeing it. And I mean, I can't show you guys any more proof. 5 o'clock today, that buck was day walking. And I mean, it's just something right now, the way the season is with that cold snap really fired off. I've always said I got a couple of doe here to come into estrus early because I see the fawns drop early. And it's proven itself. I mean, these bucks wouldn't be coming into this place unless they smell the hot doe.
Mm-hmm.
And it's when that full moon came on and them cold temperatures drop, my camera's like bang, bang, bang. I mean, they're going off in the middle of the night, and I'm like trying to focus. I'm like, oh, geez, look at that buck. Okay. So was the moon guide last year accurate for me? Nah, not so much. I'm going to say it was a different season. It was warmer. It wasn't as cold.
A lot warmer.
Early. And this fall seems to be a little earlier to me.
Yeah.
So last year, I saw them coming on like this around Veterans Day. That's when I saw them really starting to chase. In fact, if you look back on probably my channel, I was out with the crossbow one day, and I had a 4-pointer run right up to me, and I was trying to scare him away. I'm like, get out of here. You're not big enough. Go away. Well, boo, boo on the video. And he's like standing there looking at me. I'm like, you better run, dude, because, if I have a second thought, it's not going to be good.
Yeah, I might accidentally shoot your ass.
But that was when I saw the main action. And, of course, young bucks. When I say young bucks, I'm talking adolescents, year and a half. You always have them starting to chase. The other night I was sitting out in the stand before the mayhem started, and I had a young buck come in, a little 4-pointer. Actually, he was just like one-sided, but he was grunting. He's just bat, coming across the field. I'm like, that ain't no buck. It's a little guy. And I think I sent you, I don't know. I posted him up when they're walking by me. I had him right underneath me and everything. And I was like, go away. I don't want you, blah, blah, blah. And then it was like that night when that full moon came up, man, oh man, I call him Mr. Perfect. He's a mainframe 8, but he's got 2 nice crab claws out in the front and 2 big, tall G2s. Him and Clyde ran together all summer. They were buddies. And then I didn't see those bucks for over 4 weeks, and Clyde came back. He didn't. Then he came back, and then I didn't see him almost a month and a half, and that's when he just showed up the other night. And I was like, where the hell have you been? And it's probably like this drop time buck I got here now. Somebody's going, where did he go? But they're probably 2 miles away from me where that buck is bedding, and they're catching him on the camera at night. So, I'm learning a lot. Reaper has been really a good person to talk to.
Yeah.
As far as spreading my knowledge a little bit more, as far as that goes. And I was kind of getting worried because I was getting these bucks in the dark, and I was like 2 or 3 in the morning. I'm going, oh man, they're not going to daylight here, but they are.
They will. If you got does there, they'll eventually be there.
Yeah, and like the doe population, and man, I mean, the other morning the doe came out first. Somebody would have popped her, and then here comes that buck, and I'm like, that's why you wait. You just this time of the year you better wait. And I don't like shooting does. Like Jersey, they got that freaking earn a buck bullshit, and it's like they got to make these guys go out and shoot a doe. You have to shoot a doe before you can shoot a buck.
Yeah, there's a couple of states like that too.
Yeah, and I'm saying how many guys ruin their freaking spot by gutting out the freaking deer there, getting blood all over the place, dragging the deer out of the woods, making a freaking crime scene, and to earn a buck? It's like, come on, it's like, who the hell thought of that? But so they don't hunt on Sundays either. So
yeah. I mean, if they're gonna make it mandatory, to earn a buck.
Yeah,
at least allow them to shoot the buck first, but maybe
they have to kill doe.
You can't get a tag next year or something if you don't shoot a
there you
doe
go.
or
there you go.
Something like that. Because the scenarios from year to year change. Mm-hmm. Like you may not just have very many does in your area, but you got bucks all over. So now you're going to penalize a guy that he can't shoot that buck unless he shoots a doe, and he doesn't have does on his property. He may just have that type of landscape where there's no real bedding and they're just cruising back and forth between feeding and bedding areas. They got that basically like a staging area is their property. So that guy's screwed,
Weird question now I want to ask. I was thinking about this.
We're not going golfing.
Did you ever think that while you're in the tree stand, like, what happens if this tree just all of a sudden snaps and I'm falling off with this motherfucker?
Almost happened 2 years ago at the college.
Like, I just came out of nowhere. Like, I was just sitting there like, I'm in a pretty good tree.
My dumb ass went across.
I get a good wind. It just
during a thunderstorm, and I'm like, I got these deer coming, and it just doesn't seem to matter. They don't give a shit in the pine plantations. They just keep cruising, and I'm like, I'm gonna stick a doe tonight. I got to go home tomorrow. The weather's been just shitty warm last year.
Yeah.
And I sat up in there, and I was probably 25 feet up, and the wife calls, and I'm like, I'm on, damn it. She's like, it's a really bad storm, and I go, no shit, I'm in the tree. And all of a sudden, the tree next to me, the top blew off.
Oh,
probably like 20 feet. Just came crashing down, and she goes, what was that? And I says, I got to call you back. And I just took all my shit, and I ran back, and I says, I'm on my way home, man. Fuck this. That son of a bitch almost took the tree I was in down. The stupid shit we do for deer hunting.
So funny story about what you're saying. Not so much me, because I look at a tree before I get in it. And I look up in the tree before I get in it, make sure there's no widow makers. That's the logger part of me.
Yeah.
But my don't take it wrong if you guys are Polish, but I call him my Polak buddy. He's like 6'6". I call him the silverback too, because he's a big bastard. But when he first started hunting, he was from Buffalo, New York, so he was a city boy. He wasn't really a woodsman. And he moved out by me, and we became friends, and we started hunting together. So he says, hey, I put that new lock on a tree up there, up on the ridge. Where I'm telling you, it's like up where the trail kind of splits off. I said, yeah, it's a good spot. There's like a little duck pond up in there, very small little watering hole, but it was good for the bucks to come in and drink water at, and they like that area. So he freaking, if you want to hunt it, go ahead. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll take you up on it. I go over there tomorrow night when I get out of work. I walk out there. I start climbing up the tree, and it's going. And I'm like, what in the frig did he do? I look up, the top's fucking dead in the tree. It's
Jesus.
Bark's peeling off, and he's like probably 240, 250. And I'm like, no, I'm not hunting out of this freaking tree.
Hollowed out raccoons are climbing out the top.
So I get back, and we were next door neighbors, so we'd always hook up and have a beer or something, chill out and bullshit. I said, yo, my little Polak buddy. I said, what the frig did you do? He's like, what? That's a good spot, ain't it? I said, yeah, but pick a better damn tree. I said, that damn thing's going to go over with us both. And he goes, yeah, it is kind of dead, ain't it? I said, what the frig are you thinking, man?
It was doing that with you in there. Makes you like what it
Oh
was doing
my
when he was in
God.
there.
I'm like, dude, and at the time I was probably like maybe $180, $190. And he's like 6'6". I'm like, how the frick? Why the hell would you go in that freaking thing? But no, I've always thought about it with what's sitting above me with the high winds, and you got to be careful. You got to use your head. When you go in, look around you too, because a tree that's 50, 60, 75 feet tall, if it ain't in good shape and you're set up by it, don't take much to squish you like a bug.
Mm-hmm.
Dustin here made a comment. He said, LOL, I've thought about that every time I'm in the stand and the wind's blowing after the rain. And this is another weird fact, question that I was thinking to myself, I want to ask you guys.
Yeah.
Those 3 days that What's Up Stupid kept walking underneath my stand, I just kept looking like I could just jump and like Batman motherfuck this dude and jump down and just shoot him or whatever and jump on top of him, ride him like a pony.
That deer would kick your ass.
Where you just like, ooh, he's right into my stand. I'm just gonna jump down and ride him like, ooh, let's ride him, cowboy.
They are dumb, man, them young ones. That spike, I was breaking branches off and throwing it at him, trying to get him the hell out of there. And he would just like a fly was on his back. He'd hear the crunching and he would look up and then he'd look back down, eat acorns, and I'm throwing sticks. Just get the fuck out of here, man. And
so I mess with him too. I see how many times I can call him back.
Oh, yeah.
I'll let him just out of eyesight and I'll hit the bleat can. Here he comes.
Yeah. I did that with a 4-point last year.
And like after like the 8th or 9th time, I'm just like, go. You're so stupid. Just go.
You're just annoying.
I got a video from up by the cottage last year of a spike. I called him in and he sat there for like 2 minutes and I watched him walk off like 40, 50 yards and I go, wonder if I can call him back.
Mm-hmm.
So I just went, meow, and he stops. He turned around, fucker comes back.
Mm-hmm.
And then he kept going out the back and then I didn't see him for a while. So I waited about a half hour, 45 minutes. I bleated again. And then like 15 minutes later, I'm hearing a deer behind me and I go, oh shit, here comes a deer. And I looked in the same stupid son of a bitch. He's coming back. I'm like, motherfucker, go home.
Yeah. Then I've done that shit and a freaking slammer will come up. It's like, I'm like, oh, time to stop playing around.
Yep.
We got the real boy here now.
Doing this, and all of a sudden you look over and you go, oh shit.
I got
staring at you.
I got a question for you both. I'm gonna turn the tables here a little bit. So Mr. Brett, can I be in charge for a second? But
Dustin,
do you guys blind call?
Blind call?
Yeah,
I do.
In other words, like you don't see a deer anywhere, but do you make calls to see if you can get a deer to respond that you don't even see?
I do. Every year.
Me too.
Very rarely.
I do. I see more deer that way than I do when I don't.
I think because
they're very curious.
Yeah, and I mean, I remember building wood stands when I was a kid, and they'd come up while you're banging on a tree to see what the hell you were doing.
Yeah,
just because they're curious. But
yeah,
I hear so many people say, don't blind call, it's no good. And I'm like, what the frig do you know? I mean, just try shit. Try anything that works. I mean, you're bored sitting out there, so I get bored easy, and it's like I got probably ADD a little bit or something. So
yeah, I do too.
I'm like I got to sit there, and then I see what happens, and then all of a sudden, a deer will come in, and you're like, yeah, okay, that worked.
Yeah, I mean,
you don't.
My uncle made this point when I was younger. When he would go, well, it's early season, the first or second week, and he's like, well, did you see anything? And I go, no. And he says, did you try any, doe bleats or any young buck calls? And I go, no. And he's like, why? And I'm like, they're not rutting. And he's like, what are you, fucking stupid? You think the deer only communicate during the rut? And I'm like, oh shit, I guess I never really thought of that. Yeah. They communicate all year to each other. They don't, it's not just during the rut.
Yeah. They communicate.
When I started doing it, 20 years ago, and there's times where it doesn't work and you won't get no response. but there's times where it's brought something in, you know.
Yeah.
Just a curious deer.
Yep.
Like, hey, what the hell's that? I don't recognize that sound in my area. I'm gonna go investigate.
And I've told you guys before, out at night predator hunting after deer season. My God, I mean, herds of deer to a wounded rabbit call. I've had deer like walk up and look at the caller. I'm like, what are you? You know, there's a coyote attacking something. You're gonna walk up and check it out.
Yeah.
You know,
I didn't guess I pay attention until my uncle started putting this more in my head about how curious they are, because I've caught myself getting busted preseason, going in, breaking limbs, dragging shit, clearing leaves away from my walking area.
Yeah.
And I'll just look up and I'll hear a snort and a stomp, and I'll look and I go, well, shit, there's fucking deer.
Yep.
They hear that noise. They just want to come check, see what it is, as long as it's not somebody going, hey, man, what are you doing over there? You know? And then you know it's a human.
Yep.
Dustin made some comments here. Then we'll get to his question. Dustin, mid-morning or night at dark, and both have worked for me.
Yep.
Sometimes at lunchtime, best time in my book. Another one from Dustin. I've seen more deer turkey hunting than in a stand some years.
This year for me, it has been.
Back to our conversation of falling out of a tree. Dustin asked, harnesses, what do you guys wear?
So I got the Summit one that came with my climber years and years ago. I like that because I actually wear it underneath my clothes and just leave the lanyard sticking out the back. But it's very comfortable. It don't have big buckles on it. But this year, predominantly, I'm in a saddle out of most of my stands, so I don't really worry about the harness anymore. You don't need it because you're tethered to the tree. But when I do go up my other stands, I will wear my Summit harness. I like it. It's just comfortable. You know, I tried some of the other ones. I won't say names, but some of them had like actual seatbelt buckles. And when you got legs the size of tree stumps and, you know, no room in your crotch, they kind of pinch the boys, man. You're no good. So I couldn't wear them.
Yeah. My wife actually bought me this new Hawk one this year because my other one outgrew me. But I actually like it. It's really wide straps. Everything's quick connect. And the back is super padded. And then they went with this, the leg straps have these quick connect buckles.
Nice.
And they're padded. And it's probably the most comfortable harness I've had. And it doesn't hurt my back or my legs at all.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the light or the pro one?
That is the pro.
Pro.
Yep. My wife likes me. Or she just wants me out of the house more so I'm more comfortable and I'm not home. It could be a little bit of both.
My wife just yells at me, get a deer already.
I know.
What do you wear, Brett?
I have the light.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
they're very comfortable. They are very comfortable.
They really are.
I do like the leg straps with the quick connect buckles.
I'll tell you, for years, nothing.
I did too. I, up until probably 8 years ago, started wearing one. Never have.
I haven't been wearing one. I have it. I just haven't worn it because I've just been too fucking lazy to do it. But two, I sit when I am in my tree stand, and I have a 360, the tree stand. So I'm sitting in that seat. So I'm constantly in it, and I just get to move around, and I don't stand up to shoot because like I said, that's a whole debate we can get on next topic of the show, but whatever. I like to sit down when I shoot because I feel more grounded. I feel more stable. So I'm sitting to enjoy the time, and I feel like I'm going to fall.
If you haven't stood and shot a lot, it's very uncomfortable, I guess you would say.
Because
you're high up and you can be leaning. It's very awkward for people. It is if you haven't done it a lot.
You got to learn. You got to learn to pivot at your hip.
Yep. I got my kid sitting. He's not allowed to stand because he gets very nervous. And he drew on a doe a couple weeks ago, and he said he couldn't stop shaking because he felt like he was going to fall. So I'm like, all right, you're not standing anymore. I got that stand set up so you can swing your ass and your bow 180. So I just want you to shoot sitting down until you've been in a tree stand more and comfortable.
I've been in a tree stand since I was 10 years old, but I just have a fear of heights. And granted, I'm only like 18 feet off the ground, but for me,
that's still high when you break your neck if you fall.
Oh,
exactly. And don't get me wrong, I'm still standing up there. I'm just like, fuck, I'm so high up there, and I don't know what it is. I feel comfortable in a tree stand, but it's the standing, and I have like this very small little block. And then you got to draw back, and you have all the other aspects of drawing back a bow, and make sure it's correct, shooting at a deer. And then on top of it all, your heart is beating faster than out of your chest. So it's like, fuck, I'm just going to sit down and take my time and feel more comfortable that way. And I'm personally, everyone's got a personal preference out of it, but me personally, I just love sitting out of it. I've shot deer standing up, don't get me wrong. But I love doing it more sitting down because I can feel I control my emotions a lot better, and I'm a lot more in control of basically everything that I can control.
So I'm just the opposite. I like to stand. I've always stood, and shooting out of a freaking saddle now is different because you're kind of sitting down. So I had to practice with it a little bit out in the yard. Not that it was like really too crazy, but I'm just a standard. And rifle's a little different. I'll sit because sometimes I got to really take a poke shot at something, and I try to set my stands up where I got a limb or I can use the back of the tree for a steady rest. But that I don't mind. But man, when it comes to bow, like, I like standing up. I just, and I got the camera there, so I'm trying to, keep an angle on the camera and watch what's going on with that and everything else. So, to be sitting down, it's, it's okay, but it's good. Hey, whatever works.
You got to do what makes, because you're drawing on an animal.
I mean, Brett,
you're not
right,
Dave,
Dave?
and you're not, and you're drawing on an animal, and this is you. You're either probably going to take a bad shot or you're not going to take a shot.
Well, you can understand Brett's dilemma because he's a little top heavy with that bowling ball head. He wants to
Wow.
Got to make a neck tether for him so he doesn't
a neck tether. I think they call them nooses.
I wasn't going to say it.
But neck tether sounds a lot more.
Look, we're going to use it by a professional, and we'll call it the Humpty Dumpty, okay?
Yeah, the Humpty Dumpty tether. We'll make it
you can see it, right? Look,
with rainbows on it.
No, hold on. Here's the scenario, right? He's like this up in the tree. I'll give you a Brett Bovin moment. Oh, the Ladies Golf Association's really coming. Oh, look at that. She hit that really. Oh. You know how we got
honey, come get me. I'm being choked out.
Hey, you know how they got the kneeling pads for the freaking saddle? He's got one for his forehead.
My head's not that big. It's normal size.
What did Johnny say? He looked like a T-Rex with red hair.
He's got to be careful when he goes to the bowling alley. You don't get picked up.
Yeah, somebody will try to stick their finger in his eyes and his nose.
You see that? If you saw that coming up the ball return, you wouldn't grab it. You'd run the frick away.
Yeah, you'd say, hey.
It's like this.
You're like, Mommy, look, that bowling ball's walking down the aisle.
He's the only ball that knocks the pins over before it gets to him.
Yeah.
All right, enough picking up. Right?
But
I had a math thing here, so you guys chit chat. We're gonna do this math I gotta find it real quick before we call it a night.
There this is screwed up.
Yeah, that's the payback we get.
Yeah.
It is. Oh, that's not what it was. It wasn't the math rule. It was something else.
Jeez.
All right. If you're blind, how would you tell someone to get you something to eat?
I would just tell them. I wouldn't. You don't have to.
I was gonna say you could just
talk,
your mouth
you
works, right?
You would need to catch one.
You're freaking blind. You're not dumb. Look, I
Yeah,
can't
give me some
talk.
water.
You fall for it. You guys gonna fall for it. All right. Your mom had let's start with David. Your mom had 4 kids.
God,
3 of them were named North, East, and West. What's the name of the 4th one?
So
South?
yeah.
Okay, Adam. Your mom had 4 kids.
Mhm.
3 of them were named North, West, East. What's the name of the 4th one?
Northwest East.
The 4th one.
What's the name of the 4th kid? Your mom had 4 kids.
All right. North, West, and East. You said.
Yeah.
So
3 of them were named
South.
North,
South.
West, and East. What's the name of the last one?
South.
No, you dumb motherfuckers. It's your name. Your mom had 4 kids. 3 of them were named North, East, and West. 4th one was named Dave Fuckhead. And
Well, my brother's name's Matt. It's not named North, East, or West.
whatever, it's stupid. I have a better riddle for next show.
Well, it was all right. It wasn't stupid.
Yeah.
It was all right.
It's to be expected.
It's along a golfer's.
It must be something they talk about on the golf course.
Chip pip cheerio. Did you hear about what your sister's name is?
Yeah.
If she's out in the wind and blowing the 70
What
miles
did
an
the
hour?
putter saying to the pitching wedge?
Oh, look, here comes the hot drink girl.
Yeah.
Let me suck in my beer gut.
That was
Yeah.
Dustin. So good job, Dustin. All right. End of the show here. What do you guys got to say for final closing moments?
We're coming to see you next year, Squatch.
Yeah, come on out.
I don't want to. You're mean to me.
I don't give a shit. Come out anyway.
Hey, that's one less mouth you got to feed.
I even got the freaking stand for you too, all set up.
Oh,
You can't fall out of it.
stand with a Teddy Ruxpin belt.
No. I got the perfect thing for him, man. It'll be ready when you're here.
It's gonna be like 4 feet off the ground.
No,
I
I
know
got.
it's gonna be like a regular step ladder.
Look,
wrapped in
you're gonna
camo.
make me tell you what it is.
No, I want us to be surprised.
No, I'm gonna tell you anyway.
Oh, gosh.
So I went down to the local bowling alley and I got those bumper things that they put in the freaking things for the kids.
Oh my
Yeah.
God!
I'm gonna line that around. This way your head goes doop, and just like you don't fall out. Doop, doop, in case you fall asleep. It's Brett Bovin proof.
Oh my gosh!
No, seriously. No, you guys always you're welcome to come out. It'd be a lot of fun and stuff. I'm getting ready to go to Ohio on for that
Yeah, because you're
Halloween.
going 3 days before I am.
Yeah, so I'm going out. You guys saw Jason chime in. He was in before. That's who I'm going down to, and just hopefully can get it done on something good down there, man.
Well, I talked
That's
to
great.
my buddy's kid.
And Squatch, you're not going to be on for next this upcoming Sunday, correct? Or is it Sunday after?
The Sunday after. This Sunday I'll be here. Yeah, this Sunday
I'll be
here.
on. I'll be able to go on at his house.
You know what, Brett? If I'm just riding along, coming back up or something, and I got service on that weekend, I'll just jump on my phone and do it. I don't care.
Okay. So it's November 3rd, then the one after Halloween.
November 3rd, I should be on my way back home here to New York.
David?
I'll just jump on at his house. He's got a computer.
Okay.
So
All right.
I'll be good.
Well, that being said, guys, I love you. I hope you have a good rest
Love
of
you
your
too,
night.
brother.
You're awesome, man. Thanks for letting us pick on you.
You're so welcome. I'm here for your guys' pleasure. That was weird. I shouldn't have done that on live.
Yeah. Okay.
Listen, the pleasure was all yours. So I'll just
Yeah, it
leave
was.
at that.
Have a good rest of your night, guys.
Yeah,
All right,
thanks,
brother.
brother. We'll see you.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Amazing group of guys right there. Excited to have them on the team, like I say every time. Anyways, I want to say thank you everyone for tuning in for tonight's show. I greatly appreciate it. Let me see here. Like I said, if you use the code GP10, you get 10% discount off Gilly Puck products. Also, check out Rec Broadheads as well. Use the code WA15. Go check out Magnus Broadheads as well. Go check us out on Carbon TV. And like I said, go to our website. Check us out there. We have a lot of information right there for you to look at. We have next year's schedule planned out from January all the way to December. Look at it. If you feel free to come on the show and represent your state, send us an email through our website and we'll get you on the show. I know some states we're not going to be like until like September, whatever, but it's like, you know what? I want to be on the show. Send us an email. With that being said, we all know I don't like doing intros and outros, so we're just going to conclude it there. And we hope to see everyone next Sunday when we have Eric on the show, and we're looking forward to talking with him. And that's actually going to be a really fun, interesting show. So I hope everyone tunes in for that show. Anyways, hope you have a good rest of your night, and make sure to put quarter in the slot machine.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Whitetail Advantage Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we will see you next time.